name is Natalie Trevonne, and I'm a dancer. My family are dancers. Like, we've always, like, would get up and, like, randomly dance at parties, even in the stores. We would get on my dad's nerves because we would be in Costco, like, getting it. And he would be like, okay, guys. So it was always, like, part of our daily, like, you know, routine. My eye disease is basically arthritis of the eye. I was diagnosed with arthritis when I was 1 year old. And I always struggled with that. And so they told me eventually that it would affect my eyes. When I was in middle school, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try out for cheer. And so I did and made the team and I loved it. But my arthritis was bothering me. And so I didn't run, and my coach didn't have a problem with it because she knew. Some cheerleaders were like whispering amongst some stuff, like, oh, why isn't Natalie running? Why is she getting to sit out? And I was trying to explain to them, like, hey, like, no, it's my disease. Like, I'm not just trying to sit out. And one of the guys was just like, oh, she said that she has a disease. And I overheard the other girl telling them, well, you should have told her she looks like she has a disease. And I internalized that for a long time. Like, it took me a little while not to feel like to know that I don't look like I have a disease. It was really traumatic for me, and I wanted to fight. So I was like, I can't stay here. Like, I can't stay in this environment. And so I left, even though my coach begged me to stay. I decided to start dance at my school because we didn't have it. And I was like, oh, let's do a dance team. Like, bump this. Like, I don't have to stay with them. And so I got with, like, my activities coordinator at the school and was like, how do I start this? Like, what do I do? Found a choreographer and helped build the team, and ended up being, like, one of the captains for 2 years. When I was a senior in high school, I was really starting to lose a lot of vision. Like, it was decreasing rapidly at this point. I got pulled from a routine because I didn't have it. And it was simply because I just didn't have the time to go over the steps with my teacher after school, because I know I needed the extra time since I couldn't really see her. But for me, it felt like the end of the world because I knew that, okay, this is it. Like, this is my last hurrah. That's what I thought at that time. I didn't know anything about disability. I didn't know anybody blind. Nobody in my family was dealing with what I was dealing with. So nobody really understood what was going on. It was my dream to, like, go to college and be part of the dance team or cheer, and I did not do that. I just kind of focused on transitioning from not using a cane to using a cane, and learning how to advocate for myself in classes, and learning how to use screen readers. Like, that was my main focus in college, and I kept that focus on how to be an independent blind person for so many years, and kind of just let my dance stream die. It wasn't until 2016 when I met Haidia Muhammad, who's a professional dancer, and she was starting this thing called the Blind Dance Company. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I haven't danced in so long. Like, I don't even know if I can still dance. Like, it was just a lot. The hardest part for me is not being so stiff about it, because I've just been in my body for so long. As a blind person, you tend to stay in one place. Mostly because you don't want to make anybody else feel uncomfortable, because as soon as you take 2 steps, it's like, don't go over there, don't do this, don't do that, you know? And you get, like, very, like, confined. Like, you almost feel like a caged bird. I remember doing my first contemporary piece for the first time in 10 years and being on stage by myself in a room of over 200 audience members. It was just so freeing. Like, for the first time in 10 years, I felt complete freedom, and I was just able to express myself in motion, and it was such an emotional time for me. Let it flow, let it move, let it be, just let it be. Whatever it's gonna be, let it happen, and that's the beauty of dance. It can be whatever you want it to be, really. When I work with a choreographer now, I feel like the biggest difference is I have to touch them, and I'm not an affectionate person, like, at all. Like, I don't even like to be touched myself. So it was like a little, like, I had to get over that, like, uncomfortability. Like, I was kind of uncomfortable, but my teacher was like, it's fine, like, just touch me, like, you have to see what I'm doing. So, like, once we got over that hurdle, I was able to catch on pretty quickly, and the basics hadn't changed, you know, the formula doesn't change. I can definitely still be a dancer, and I'm about to do it, and we're gonna do it well. I feel like now I have to be perfect as a person with a disability. I don't want it to be lackluster or, like, mediocre, because then people are like, oh, well, she did her best, she's blind, you know? Like, I want people to look at it and be like, oh, okay, she did her thing. Like, you know, like, that was amazing. I know that's sad to say it, but, like, I feel like if you don't be, like, incredible, like, people don't really see your talent. That's just how I feel. So working through that and learning that, like, just dance, Nat, and don't worry about whether it's perfect or not. My take on how disability is being represented right now is that they could do better, much better. We don't have a lot of role models that people see and know what we can do. And I think that's like a big issue. Like, I think people just don't know. It's very rare that you see a blind individual representing some type of fashion brand or beauty brand or really anything, but not just being represented, but authentic representation, and not just dressing people to make them look blind by throwing some glasses on them and giving them a white cane. Blindness is a wide spectrum, so you have people that can still see, and they can still see colors, and they can still see this, and some people can't see at all. And so even sometimes when I go in for like some type of role, they're like, do you have glasses? And I'm like, no, I don't wear glasses. We all don't wear glasses. Like, that's such a stereotypical thing. Like, we don't all have dogs, we don't all have canes. Like, some people don't walk with a cane or a dog, and they're still considered blind. So it's just being a little bit more broader when we, advertise for people with blindness, and the possibilities are endless. And so I would just like to see a variety of my community being represented in general, regardless of what the product is. I think I would love to just be part of a project that's not specifically for disabilities. One day I want to dance with Rihanna, I just want to break barriers and kind of get rid of these stereotypes. Like, why can't a blind dancer be doing background for somebody like Usher or Beyonce? I think that we can, and I would love to see it, and I would love to be a part of it. So just doing some type of dance campaign or anything where the focus is not disability, and I just get to be Natalie with a whole bunch of different type of dancers, and it's not this like, oh my gosh, you gotta talk about disability and being blind and like blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just me here to dance,